Hey guys, it's Comics GMAN here today. I'm going out for a walk with my super dog Rosie. Now listen, I kind of want to do an update on my video that I did about Charlie Kirk's assassination. While my first reaction, I really did feel that way about it, because when I first heard about him getting shot, my grandpa came in my room. I think I was playing Dragon Guard or something, and when he told me about it, I was kind of like I couldn't believe it at first. I mean, in terms of I couldn't believe it, because I did know like Charlie Kirk just from like the TV shows or the internet, and you know, I'm not one of these people who didn't know who he was at all. I knew who Charlie Kirk was. I think I saw him on Tucker Carlson a few times, like years before, and I looked into some of the things he used to talk about, and he never really attracted me that much. Like I said in my previous video, I never really agreed with much of what he said, but I never thought he was that interesting, to be honest. He wasn't that interesting. He was kind of boring, and you know, one channel I was watching said it correctly. He was pretty milquetoast. He wasn't even like a hardcore Republican or whatever that even means anymore. He wasn't what the left is trying to make him out to be, but he wasn't even what the right is trying to make him out to be, like this grand savior, this martyr, this whatever. I personally think, after some of the little research that I've been doing on my own, I kind of looked at the footage of him getting shot as well. Nothing special, the same footage you all have access to. You could see him getting shot, the only ones that have been released publicly. And I have to say it from my opinion, I think it's doctored, I think it's fake. I think there's some kind of, whether it was done with just regular editing or there's some AI in it. I think there might have been some AI in the video of him getting killed, because, you know, people are talking about how he had one ring on a different finger, and then the other, and then when he got shot, the ring disappeared, and then it ended up in a completely different finger. Now, that wouldn't happen in a regular video editing program. Like if you're just like a regular guy like me, and you're just editing on I edit on OpenShot. It's a free open source video editor, because I'm not paying shit. I'm not paying every month for fucking Adobe, that fucking globalist corporation. Alright, come on. Sorry for the traffic noise, it's a little crowded today. But look, listen. So as I was saying, if you use like a regular editing program like Premiere Pro, Adobe After Effects, which is a little more complicated, a little better. I used to like using After Effects at school, because you could do like all the 3D effects with flat images. I always thought that was great. Premiere Pro is a really good editing tool. I had the 2019 version, but I for some reason when I try to open it up, it doesn't work, because I don't pay monthly anymore. I haven't for years, and I'm not going to, because I hate the idea of having to pay monthly for something that should be your program. So that's why I use the open source OpenShot editor, which is not as good as Adobe. But back to my point. So some of the anomalies that you'll see in the Charlie Kirk video of him getting shot, these aren't anomalies that you'll see on like a regular editing program, because if you're editing that as the guy, you would not make the mistakes that I saw in the assassination video. So that makes me come to the conclusion that there was AI used in it. And I have dabbled in AI. So I'm pretty familiar with the kinds of mistakes that AI makes. So for example, when Charlie gets shot, he had a ring on, I think it was this finger or this one. I don't remember which finger it was. So he came to the speech, the rally, with the ring on the finger. You could see it before he got shot. And then the moment he got shot, the finger, the ring, it switched to a different finger. Now, AI would make a mistake like that. That's a mistake that AI would make, because if you're using AI to edit, you have no control over each frame, each moment that the AI is working on. But if you were editing it as a person on like Premiere Pro or maybe even Vegas, whatever you use, you would be working frame by frame, and you would make sure a mistake like that would not happen. And secondly, the other mistake, another anomaly that you find, there's like some weird bullet hole that shows up on his like right shoulder. It's like a black hole as when he gets shot, right? And then it mysteriously moves up to his neck. That, I think, is another mistake created by AI. So whether, I can't tell you every detail because clearly I wasn't there. I didn't work on this, but from my opinion, and from working with various editing programs for the last, God, has it been, I would say I've been working with editing programs like just on my own from school, college, and when I do my own thing for at least 11 years now. So, and I'm not like, I don't get paid to do it because I just been working regular jobs most of my life. I haven't been able to get a job in any company, so I've been having to work like regular jobs and all of that. But on the side, I'm really good with these programs too. Like, you know, a lot of people could be good at it. It's not hard once you get into it. So for all of you that are familiar with the editing programs, and if any of you have used AI, I think you could agree with some of the anomalies that I'm describing. You could tell me what you think about that. And secondly, I want to talk about another thing that stinks to high heaven about this whole Charlie Kirk situation. Just watch videos right now. You could find it, and I've been watching this one YouTube channel named I think it's Disturbing the Illusion. The guy's name is Brian. He's really good, very good the way he breaks things down. He's been showing you how Charlie Kirk's wife has been acting on when she goes on these various podcasts and shows. This is not the normal behavior of a woman or anybody who just lost their loved one in such a supposedly horrific manner. Now, you look up these videos, and she's smiling. Her eyes aren't barely watering, and there was one example today where she was describing how her little daughter would give Charlie, every time before he would go on a show, she would give him a puppet or a toy of hers, and he would bring that toy with him to the show, and then she would watch his show and say, "Oh, Dad, I saw your puppet on the show." Right? That's a pretty nice story. I like that story. But here's the strange thing. This is after Charlie Kirk's death. So if you're talking about something that sweet, something that intimate, about your child, about your husband, I would break down talking about a story. Even just thinking about it right now is making me feel a little like emotional. Now, when she was describing this story on the podcast, this was some bad B-movie, no, I would even go as far to say C-movie acting. Really, really bad acting. So that's why I want to name the title of this video, We Live in the House of Cards. Because watching this stuff go down, I swear to God, it feels like we live in a House of Cards episode. But it's not even a good House of Cards episode. Like, we're in like House of Cards. Season 5 wasn't great, but the worst part was season 6. So I would say we're living in House of Cards season 6. Okay? So all this baloney, all this acting and theatrics that these people are doing, it's not even good. It's not even convincing. Like, you're not even getting a season 2 performance or season 1 performance level of acting from these people. You know? Like it's so obvious. It's starting to become so obvious that this is all just some kind of grand psychological operation. And clearly, for those of you astute people who have been paying attention to American politics and history, you know that what the government has been up to for a very long time. So, if you're familiar with what I'm talking about, most of what I'm saying won't even bother you because you understand where I'm coming from. You understand what the government, what the corporations, all these people are capable of. So, that's how I feel about it. And frankly, I'm going to edit this up, cut it up, because I'm just a little tired. I've been going back and forth to the hospital this week because my grandpa had an operation. He's doing all right, but you know, I've been going every day to see him. It's been a lot. It's been he's been in pretty bad shape. He hasn't eaten because they got him on IV, and it's tough to see him like that. But you know, like this shit with the Charlie Kirk thing, it's actually been bothering me even more because it feels like we're being duped. It really feels like that. It feels like 9/11. And look, I was only a kid when 9/11 happened. And as I got older and I started looking into 9/11, I certainly don't believe anything that I hear anymore from any mainstream media or even the supposed self-proclaimed alternative media. You just can't trust people anymore that are espousing information. See, I'm just telling you what I think is a regular guy. I'm not making any money off of this video. I don't think I'm ever going to make any money on YouTube the way it's going, and I don't know if I really care. It would be nice if I did, but for now, I'm just using this as a way to express myself because I got no one else to really do this with in terms of who are of similar ways of thinking. But look, just look at Charlie Kirk situation. And when you hear people like me, you might even hear people with even other ideas. Don't shut them out. Don't think they're crazy. And stop using the term conspiracy theory. Could you people please, you idiots on the internet, you normies, here I am using internet culture language, normie, I'm sorry. Even I'm falling into the idiot subculture of the internet with their goddamn stupid language. The internet, double-edged sword, that's for damn sure. But anyway, stop using the term conspiracy theory, and stop saying when you feel like something is off. I see these YouTubers, I see these people saying that they feel like something is off, you know? They don't agree, they don't believe with everything they're saying, but they all have the self-censorship that your overlords want. They're all making sure that they say, bro, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist. That's a crazy, I don't want to, this might sound like a conspiracy. Hey, moron. You know who came up with the term conspiracy theory? The CIA came up with the term conspiracy theory. All right? And you don't even have to read a million books. You don't have to deep dive into this. You don't even have to do all that. You just have to use your basic logic. You play chess a little bit. You think about strategy. You think about past empires and histories, politics. You watch some House of Cards even. Watch some House of Cards if you don't want to read a goddamn book. You will learn a lot from House of Cards. I didn't watch the British miniseries version, but I will. But I'm just referring to the American House of Cards TV show with Kevin Spacey and Robin Wright. But you don't have to look that far, because clearly, if your own government is committing horrible acts against their population, their politicians, oh, I don't even like politicians though, I don't really care. But like, you go back to JFK's assassination, the CIA clearly created the term conspiracy theorists to throw off people who were on target, to throw off people who were asking questions and who didn't believe in the official narrative of JFK. And there's that word narrative. You hear that word an awful lot, don't you? So do we live in a reality? Do we live in life? Or do we live in just a web of fucking false narratives conjured up by every fucking Tom, Dick, and Ninny with a goddamn agenda and some kind of power fantasy? Well, I'll tell you where I live. I prefer to live in reality. I don't want to live in some little spoiled brats conjured up false reality. Do you? Is that where you want to live? Because if you do, you keep using their approved terms like conspiracy theory. That'll keep your brain in check. That'll keep your mind controlled. And you're doing it willingly. You're doing their work willingly. It's frustrating. It's very frustrating living in America. There are good people here. It's not that I've met a lot of bad people. It's really just too many people just going along. Too many people not asking questions. Too many people who believe in what they want them to believe. But if you've actually managed to somehow reach my obscure channel where I talk about comics and the occasional politics, well, I welcome you here, because I don't think they'll want you to see what I'm saying. And look, I'm just a regular guy. You might say, why you wear a hat and glasses? I don't know. I guess I'm going for a brand. I don't even know. No, not even. I'm just not comfortable showing my face. You know, I'm just and it's probably silly to even feel like that now, because even though I'm covering my face with glasses and this silly hat, this desert hat, because I feel like being Lawrence of Arabia or something, they could just scan me and use their bio bullshit. So it's not like I'm really anonymous. They could figure out who I am. There's going to be a day where I think it's already there, where the idea of privacy has been completely eroded. And it's like they make it where you're so isolated from people, where the last resort to express yourself is to willingly make yourself go public, like I'm doing, and record your thoughts. So I guess in a way I'm like you. I'm not really so high and mighty. I'm like everybody else. I'm going along, I guess. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about this whole Charlie Kirk situation? Do you think it stinks to high heaven? Are you looking into it? Or are you believing everything that you're hearing on the TV? And I have to tell you, shut off the goddamn TVs. Thanks. Shut off the TVs. stop using your smartphone. And he's saying, but gee, you're using it. Yeah, you could say, but gee, you're using a smartphone, aren't you? No, I don't have a smartphone anymore. When I was in high school, I had an Android. I used it. I was into that stuff. I got rid of it. I shut it down. I stopped using it. The only thing I really use now are these guys, these flips, you know. And it just text and call. The smartphones are gone. And how am I recording this? I'm using an old camcorder that I bought maybe 10 years ago when I was in high school. I'm using just 32 gigabyte SD cards. You gotta stop buying smartphones. You gotta stop buying Apples. You gotta learn to get rid of high tech. Not all tech, okay? Just this new stuff that they're making. Here, come here. Come here, Rosie. Stay here with me. Stay here with me. Come here. Stay. There you go. I don't know if you guys are going to have trouble hearing me because the fucking cars are passing me like crazy today. Alright. This has been a crazy week. Oh, and apparently I heard there were more shootings today. One in North Carolina and one in, where was it? Well, there was a church that got shot up and there was a restaurant that got shot up. I didn't even bother to look it up. My mom told me about it over the phone. She called me. Whatever the government, whatever the media is going to tell you, you have to just be skeptical. You have to be skeptical of everything they're saying, because I think between this Charlie Kirk thing and these shootings, all these things that are happening, I think it's the people at the top that are playing these games, and they're looking for some kind of reaction from the American people. And it looks like right now the target are the Christian Americans. And look, I'm not look, I was in a Catholic school when I was a kid and all that nonsense. I don't really consider myself a Christian. I hated the Catholic school. I hated the Catholic Church. The church made no sense to me. Commandments say you can't idolize statues, and then you go to a church and you're basically idolizing statues of Jesus and all that. It never made sense to me. So I got out of there. After my confirmation, I never went back to church. Now, I'm not a closed-minded person. I don't want to call myself an atheist either. But it's hard sometimes. But I've read parts of the Bible. I've read a lot of Genesis. I read Matthew. Like, I read Matthew fully. I read parts of John. I read Revelations, of course, because I was curious about that. I don't really believe in Revelations because, you know what I always refer to when people tell me it's the end of the world? You know how many people thought it was the end of the world? Not just in our lifetime or my parents' lifetime. You ever see Vikings, the TV show, the Vikings TV show? Fucking phenomenal TV show. I loved it. There was in the first season when the Vikings were coming to pillage the monks at their sanctuary. The monks were looking out into the water, and one of the monks, the guy who survived, I forgot what his name was, but the one where well, anyway, they were looking out into the storm, and they thought it was the end of the world. Well, it wasn't. All it was a bunch of Vikings coming to take all their stuff. And we're still here. We're still alive. So that whole notion is ridiculous. So yeah, the Vikings, they came. They killed most of the monks. And Ragnar, he spared that one monk. And he took him as his slave to do work at his place and take care of his children. Hold up. So, that. If you guys watch the TV show You know what I'm talking about. If you didn't watch the TV show, I highly recommend it. Seasons 1 to 5, it's some of the best stuff you'll see about Vikings. Was there a season 6? Because I mean, the last season, whatever it was really bad. Like House of Cards, very similar. But look, so the monks were all killed. Yeah, it was the end of the world for those monks. But the one monk that survived and was taken to be a slave of the Vikings, he still lived. He still lived. Now, I'm not saying the Vikings was a true story, the TV series. It was very loosely based off of their history. But it had a lot of historical figures in it, from Ragnar's, I think it was his brother, who became what do they call those guys? He became the Duke of Normandy. I love that part about it, and that was a great actor too who played him. I forgot his name, but Ragnar's brother became the Duke of Normandy, which was accurate to history, but a lot of it wasn't. But there were monks that were probably taking slaves, and then they kind of they became a part of the Nords, as you say, and they survived. But that happened in like that happened in 900 AD roughly. So here we are, almost over 1,000 years, and can you imagine all the people between 2025 and 993 AD who believed it was the biblical end times? So I want you to swallow that, and I want you to really think about what I'm saying on a historical basis. Man, these cars are brutal today, guys. Brutal. Modern society is really hitting me hard today. Holy shit. And I'm getting hit with these. Hold up, Rosie. But yeah, look. So even, like I said, you read about history, you read about war, you'll see that a lot of these ideas, a lot of these feelings that people have about what's real, what's not real, there's a lot of validity in it. People have agendas. We might not be conquering lands anymore with spears and swords, and we might not be fighting each other with all the classical warfare stuff. But I think the new form of warfare, the one thing I have to give Alex Jones, I used to like Alex Jones, but I think he's a fake. I think he's a big fake. I think he's a part of the operations as well, to keep people believing in some other bullshit. He was right, though, about it being an information war, and he was absolutely right about all the globalist cabals that control the world, to an extent. But I still believe that a guy like that, who at this point is controlled, and the people who listen to him, they're probably highly monitored. They're probably kept at a certain level of no, and even that you can't trust. And I'm not telling you, I'm not trying to be an alternative information source. I'm not trying to be an independent journalist. I'm just a guy who's just kind of tired of things, and when I don't have my family to talk to, and I'm just to my own, I just want to express myself for the record. If I ever do have a kid or something in the future, and if they're curious to see what their crazy father thought at the time, they could look it up to their own devices. But yeah, anyway, that's all I gotta say. I know it was a long one, and if you guys stayed this long to listen to me, talk about this serious topic, I appreciate you. And Super Rosie appreciates you too. And like and subscribe. Have a good one, guys.